Hi guys, and welcome to another episode from me, Gamer Lad. This one is a start of a new series I'm going to be doing. It's how to do Photoshop. The reason I've decided to do this playlist is quite simply because I keep getting a lot of requests from friends and people over on Twitter on how I do certain things on YouTube, and a few family members have also requested a few photograph edits. So why not share it with you lot? So this episode is going to be all about teeth whitening, and this photo is just from Google. And funnily enough, I just typed in woman smile yellow teeth, and the first picture they get is the beautiful Scarlett Johansson. I wouldn't really say her teeth are yellow, but obviously they can be whiter than they are. So the first thing you want to do is make a selection of the teeth that you want to whiten. So what we'll do, I'm using a mouse and keyboard here because I've broken my tablet, so it's going to take me a little bit longer than usual, but never mind. So what you want to do, you want to choose a tool that you are comfortable with for selecting parts of your picture. Now I tend to use the quick selection tool, just because it's easier for me to work with without the tablet. If I had the tablet, I would probably use the lasso tool, but I'm going to go ahead and use the quick wand, and I'm just going to drag it over the area that I want, and then I'm going to decrease my brush size using the open bracket symbol. I'm going to hold Alt, which will turn, as you can see, will turn my cursor into a minus sign. And then any areas where I've gone over onto the lips, such as this one here, I will just click those parts away. And if I let go of the Alt key, I have the plus sign again. So I'm going to select that corner up there. And I think that's a pretty good. Let's just get rid of that bridge in the middle. Decrease the size a little bit more, and I'll get rid of. The better the selection is to start with, then the better the finished result will be. Although we are going to refine the edge in a moment, so don't worry too much. Okay, so I've selected there what I think is a good representation of the teeth. So now the next step we're going to do is go up to the top and underneath window and help. If you're running the same Photoshop as I am, which is the latest version, which is 2015.5, you will have select and mask. Earlier versions will have refine edge. A simple way to find out which version you're running is to click help and then about Photoshop CC. As you can see, I am running version 2015.5.1. Just click off that. So I want to click select and mask or refine edge for the earlier users. Now I will explain both. For the 2015.5 users, you will then be displayed with this onion skin, as it's called, and you want to go up to the top right hand corner here to the view mode, click the down arrow, and you choose whatever you prefer. You can have it on a white background, and this is just to show your selection. I prefer to have it on a transparent layer so I can see exactly what I'm working with. You can even have it as a black and white mask. The only reason I don't tend to use this is you can't see the colour differences. It's either visible or not visible. So I choose on layers. Now for those of you on an earlier version of Photoshop than 2015.5, this is what you will be displayed with when you click the refine edge button. You won't have all them fancy options at the top. The rest of the settings, as you can see here below, I've got smoothing, feathering, contrast and shift edge. They will all be the same. If I open those two, that is exactly what the earlier users will be shown. So I want to get the edge, I want to feather the edge out a bit to the lips just to kind of smooth it. So if I go with, say, around 3 pixels, bring the smooth right down. The contrast, that just sharpens it up a bit. If I have that on 20%, and then shift edge, if I bring that down by 5%, just to try and get rid of some of the lip colouring. And then I want to make sure that my output 2 is selection, and click OK. And there we have it, we've got a refined selection. Now what I want to do is make a new layer. This is going to be where we're going to start making alterations now. But all my alterations, I want to use the same mask, i.e. just on the teeth. So to save me having to create a new layer mask for every single alteration, I'm going to group this layer. So over on your layers tab on the right hand side, if you click where it says layer 1, Control G, that makes a group. Now I'm just going to name that group White Teeth. So now I've got my group White Teeth. What I want to do is I want to make a layer mask for that selection, which is going to affect the whole group I have in the White Teeth group. So what I want to do is make sure White Teeth is selected and click the new layer mask button here at the bottom right. It's the white square with the black circle in the center. Click that, and as you can see, we have now got a layer mask, and any layers in this group will be affected only by this layer mask. So I want to click on layer 1, and then the first adjustment we need to make is a hue and saturation adjustment. So back down to the right hand side, and we want to click on the adjustment layer icon there, and then click on hue/saturation. This will bring up this toolbox here. Now once I've clicked on colorize, the hue comes right down to 0. Now I tend to find that for teeth whitening, around 15 to 20 hue is the most natural colour for teeth. You've got sort of like a yellow tint as well as the white. So I'm going to set mine at 20, and I'm going to set my saturation at, say, 15. Click off the properties box, and I want to create another adjustment layer. So I'll go back down to the adjustment layer icon, up to curves, and click on that. Now if I click in the dead center of this line and drag it down to the bottom, as you can see, I can make the teeth just pure black. If I drag it right to the top, they're ridiculously white. Now I want it somewhere between the shade that I had and brilliant white. Just depends how white you want your teeth. So I'm going to put a slight curve on the teeth, around about there will do for me. It's totally up to you, your preference. You can do Simon Cowell teeth if you want and have it on full whack. So, and then click off the properties again. So I've got my two boxes now. I've got my hue, saturation and my curves, but as you can tell, they don't look realistic because there's no dark spots in the upper hollow areas of the teeth, and in the highlight areas it's kind of drowned out by the surrounding brightness of the teeth. So what I want to do is where it says curves 1, after and anywhere before or after, if I double click there, it's going to ask me to rename the layer. Now I don't want to do that, so click off that and click anywhere else on that line, and it will bring up your layer style box. Another way to do that is to just right click on the tab, go up to blending options, and you're greeted with the same box. So you want to be able to see your teeth, so move your box out of the way, and then if you go back to underlying, if you go down to underlying layer at the bottom, if I move this icon on its own, you can see it dulls the teeth, brightens the teeth. I want to split that, so what I do is I hold the Alt key and click, and that will split the triangle into two sections. I want to bring this one down to the black area like that, and then slowly bring down. If I move it quickly, you see the adjustment slowly. If you look here in this corner, you'll notice that that's brighter, it goes darker, brighter, darker. Now it's not realistic to have everything bright, as there is going to be some shadow in the mouth. So if I bring this down to about just below halfway and click OK, Now I need to make the highlights stand out slightly more than the shadowed areas. So what I'm going to do now is to click on a new layer down here, which is the black folded over piece of paper. Click new layer, and in this layer again, double click or right click and blending properties to bring up this box. And this time I want to do the same but with the black triangle. So Alt and click will separate my triangle, and I want to bring this all the way up to touching the white. Then this one, as you can see, if I bring it to around halfway, just below actually, no, just above halfway, click OK. There we have it. That is my teeth. So if I zoom out now, there's Scarlett Johansson's teeth after the blends. But let's see this little down arrow. Go over to your group where it says white teeth, click the down arrow, and that will hide everything in that group so that you've not got to individually make them invisible. If I click off, that was the teeth before and after. Before, after. Now it's only a subtle change, but them teeth are noticeably whiter and they still look realistic. They've still got the highlights, they've still got the shadowed areas inside the mouth, and they're not all the same tone, you see. So if I click on the visibility again, as you can see, yellow teeth, white teeth, yellow teeth, white teeth, and that's it. It's as simple as that. You can also do the same thing with eyes to brighten the whites of the eyes, and that's just another tip to get eyes to pop on photographs. But if I zoom in on the teeth again, you will get a better representation. So yellow teeth, white teeth, yellow teeth, white teeth. And it's as simple as that, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been useful. If there's anything specific you would like to see on Photoshop, just comment below in the comments section, or hit me up on Twitter and I'll be happy to do a video to help. And again, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. I really appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye.